all
Mhm.
about.
I'm gonna say
Stay
it one more
ready.
time for the people. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. Come
I
on.
know,
Send
right?
your time and offers too. Dollar sign. C Renee LLC. Cash App. Cash App Ministry. It's like
Cash
no.
App Mentoring.
Yeah. Incorporated. It's like
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome once again, everybody, to another week, another Slanted
yeah.
Brown Show. This is Slanted Brown Show, episode number 42. I don't know what season it is, but it is the 4-2. And we're just moving right along. We are only 2/3 of the crew. Chris could not be with us tonight, but I'm sure that he'll be watching this on replay. So shout out to Chris if you're watching. I know you are
Thank you,
watching.
Chris.
You know what I'm saying? He
Chris
said he'll
living
be
his
here in
best life.
spirit.
He's on vacation.
He
So
is, man. On vacation, I wish I could like go on a serious vacation.
mm,
I'm
what's a
talking.
pretend or play vacation opposed to a serious vacation?
I think a play vacation is like when you're still in your hometown, like and you're at home. Like to me, vacation embodies leaving your house, leaving your environment, going to
Mm-hmm.
spend some money to go get yourself a hotel or a B&B somewhere, and
Mm-hmm.
you're just relaxing. You're like cut off from the rest of life, like work, family. If you choose to just go solo or with somebody else, of the significant other, that to me just spells vacation, not
Okay.
oh
Change the scenery.
yeah,
Okay.
change the scenery and not having to take work with you, you
Got
know?
you. Got you.
So,
I
so
get
what
that.
about you? What do you think is a vacation for you? What's that life like?
I think that a vacation might feel like, or it might be like me just being able to sleep in and I don't have to do anything for anybody else.
Okay.
So I could totally, I think it's just like the mom and me, maybe. I could totally like go away somewhere in my city, like go get a real nice room or loft downtown and
Okay.
just be like, hey, y'all, I'm not that far if you need me, but don't
Right.
call me unless you really need me.
Like like like
I could do that. I could go and just hold up somewhere and be, just, you know, hidden in
just
plain
away and
sight.
cut. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
just hidden in
Yeah.
plain sight. I gotta go far.
And there's some
Yeah.
pretty cool places too that I saw that are actually in Ohio, a couple hours or so away that I would love to go visit, just to
Mhm.
go and sightsee. And but ultimately I want to get away to some nice weather. Speaking of which, it snowed here and I was
It
not
snowed today. I was just like, I was slightly offended because, a couple of days ago it was like warm. It was like I'm out
yeah,
here like no jacket. I can see the sun and it feels good. And I
right.
looked out my window today and I was like, really? Snow flare? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Now
right.
there's some people out here that love the snow. If you guys are like snow lovers, like leave a comment down below. Let us know if you like the snow. Was you like pleasantly surprised this morning on April Fool's Day? Like was this guy
Right.
way of saying like
Yeah, God
April
was like,
Fool's?
gotcha.
Gotcha. Right? He was like for all those people who put away their winter clothes and their coats, gotcha. Because it sure enough was cold this
Oh,
morning.
like for real. Like I left out, I had to leave out to do something. And I didn't anticipate it being like that cold. So I just had
Yeah.
like on a track jacket and some slip-on shoes, like some little flats.
Nope.
I was just like, I wanted to smack myself. I mean, I can't complain to God about the weather. He run this, but I was
Right,
sorry.
right. So did you find out upon opening up your door, or
Hmm,
was it like you checked the weather and you just knew it was coming?
I don't, V, like I told you, I don't watch the news because it's always just like bad stuff. And
Yeah,
I don't check the weather. I mean, I guess it's like two-sided. Like I work from home. I'm able to run my businesses from home and stuff like that. So it's just
right.
like, this headquarters. So I'm just like, well, I'll find out what the weather is when I go outside. And I need to really stop doing that because I was not dressed appropriately. Like
Yeah, I I,
just
I
out here
wasn't
on burn.
even. Yeah, like as soon as I stepped outside and saw the snow on my windshield, I was like, "Are you serious?" Because it was cold. I mean, I was like I thought we was over this. Like for real, this is like we're in spring now,
Wait,
and
wait, wait. Did you go out in that shirt to go get in the car?
well, actually, I had this shirt underneath my fleece. I had a fleece on
Oh, okay.
and a jacket. So, but
Oh,
yeah, I still felt it through all of that. Like it was still a slight little breeze, and I was just like, man,
it wasn't that cold, like where it smacked you, just thumped you on the forehead like you thought, right?
yeah,
So I was
yeah,
rowdy, but whatever. It's
yeah.
Ohio and it's Cincinnati at that. Like it could be
I
80
know,
degrees tomorrow. Who knows? So
I
you're
know.
fine.
So, I mean, that just comes with the perks of living here in the Midwest, the great Midwest.
Mhm. It's
But
okay.
yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the what's been good. So, ladies first, always, always. Or is that just a weak cop out to just put the woman in front like
I'm not
the
gonna
shield?
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna just let you do that. I wouldn't put you on blast in front of the people now backstage.
Oh, go ahead, put me on blast now. You know,
I mean,
I
I
can
know
take.
I can, but I try to be nice sometimes, I'll
Okay,
go.
all right.
But what's been good? So, a few maybe like last weekend or so, or maybe the weekend before last, I debuted the newest version or the update Swerve 2.0, and it hadn't even been up an hour, and I had already received orders. So I'm so excited. Like the first shipment goes out this weekend. I'm so excited about that.
Nice,
And then
nice.
I did like another like soft post. I haven't been doing like hard marketing. We're still developing some things and had to
Okay.
get with my creative team and stuff like that. But it was just exciting to see that people are still, plugged in, believing in the mission and the
Mhm.
message. And it's just like, yeah, I want to support you in doing this. And like I said, it hadn't even been up an hour and I got some great feedback and got orders and things like that. So
Yeah.
I was excited about that. So I'm grateful. So shipping first orders this weekend. And then I had somebody and Georgia hit me up like I need to bring that to the A, and I'm like, absolutely, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's my what's been good.
For sure, for sure. And where can people find the update? Like, what's the website? What's all the goods? The
So
411 on that.
so that's the thing. Everything right now, like on my post on Facebook, you can find me on Facebook, Shakina Rane. You can find me on Instagram. I'm doing some revamping. So on
Okay.
Instagram, you look it up at hashtag, and it's really spelled out hashtag underscore swerve underscore apparel. And then
Okay.
on Facebook, I'm Shakina Rane. So right now, because my site is being revamped, my logo is being revamped, everything is like, so my little disclaimer is pardon our dust, we're growing and developing. So right now, people can
Yeah.
hit me up and can shoot me a DM, and we just go back to, where I was doing it when I first started. Hit me with a DM, I give you the message, I give you the order details, you cash at me, you
Right.
get it in 7 to 10 days. So
Cool.
yep,
Cool. That's excellent. And
yep,
as for me, what's been good?
it's been good.
So Crystal, for those who don't know, is the young woman that I've been talking to, and I guess you could say courting at this
Yes.
uh it's like when you making those serious strides towards going beyond just, oh, we friends, but talks of marriage and life from from this moment on, being together. So she came into town um about almost a couple of weeks ago. I would say, yeah, almost like 2 weeks
A week
ago.
ago, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, and she stayed for like 9 days. And like that was an amazing experience for
Oh.
me, because I learned a lot about myself.
Mm.
I would say this in all honesty: I don't have it all together, folks. You
Nobody
know,
does.
it, but it's like with you having somebody that is constantly there with you throughout the day, it becomes more prevalent. It's like you just can't escape the mirror, so to
I was
speak,
just gonna say, boy, yeah.
versus being by yourself, because it's like I've been solo for, gosh, like 7 years, where it's
Mm-hmm.
been just me, my
Mm-hmm.
daughter, and occasionally my mom will help out, my sister will help out. So hearing about myself was like sporadic. Like I would hear bits and things here, here and there, but nothing like how I did the past couple weeks, where Crystal was like constantly telling me like, hey, you need to work on this, do that, blah 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 blah, and I couldn't deny it. She laughed because I said she made these allegations. She like, allegations.
Allegedly, right.
Allegedly, you don't sweep behind your television to get those dust bunnies. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like it was on that level, and it wasn't that she was nitpicking at all. It's just that, you know, for me, my lifestyle being bachelor of sorts, to kind of be like on the run, on the go all the time, raising my daughter by myself, along with the help of my parents. Um, it's a different lifestyle. You know, it's just like you're just in and out the house. You almost just look at the house as a place to, you know, keep a roof over your head, and that's almost just about it. It's like, this is where I sleep, this is where I eat from time to time, and outside of that, it's like, you know, I keep, you know, I keep a clean house, but is it being like super duper clean, like walking around with a white glove? No, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. So, what?
So, a few things. Like you said, a relationship, like being in a relationship with someone is a mirror. That first part is like, oh, it's cute. I like you. You like me. Oh, we vibe. We click. Oh, I like you. I like talking to you. But then when you get closer and you invite each other into each other's world and into each other's spaces, yeah, like being in a relationship does become a mirror, and it helps you see things that like you saw, but you was like you said, you're a single father. Sorry, you're a single father of one. I've been a single mother of 6 kids. Like, working from home, running 2 businesses. You know, it's just nuts. So when you talk about like, is it a white glove? Boy, I'm like, nobody hurt themselves, nobody broke nothing. Y'all ate. We got, you know what I mean? Because like you know, you get in that mode, but it's so funny because, you know, a person in my life, like you said, it's a mirror, but it goes both ways. It's just like they help you see things about yourself that you need to improve, and vice versa. And I think that you're going to win in those situations when you are able to hear and accept and apply, and know that they're not coming from a place where they like trying to hurt you or tear you up. They're just trying to help you be better. It just comes with it. Hopefully, you know, if she dishing it, she can take it, you know, because, you know, it's give and take. But yeah, I'm proud of you for not spazzing. Like, girl, ain't nothing wrong with me. You in my house. I'm sitting behind that TV if I don't want to.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Look,
I behind the TV.
I mean, and then also just the dynamics of just being like, you know, having her when I went to go visit her, it was under the it was like I didn't have to worry about, like, you know, raising a child at the moment, and like all those concerns about work and stuff, like all that was left behind. So it almost felt like a vacation trip. But for her, it was still like, you know, she had to work a little bit here and there, and she definitely was like, you know, knew how to host, and it was, you know, it seemed easy. So for me, I was like, oh my gosh, like I gotta step up the game when it comes time for her to get here, not realizing that, again, I have a child, I have, you know, things that I gotta do here and there. But, you know, she called me out on a couple of those, you know, those moments where she was like, you know, we could have did XYZ, you know, you still had time, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I could take criticism on the chin pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a combative type of person. So I think that helps out, you know, in a relationship, is just to be open, you know, like be open to what your significant other has pointed out, and then take time to like meditate on it, like walk away from it instead of trying to come up with an explanation on the spot, you know. And I think that for those who dish out criticism, constructive criticism, should not look for an instant change, you know, because that didn't build overnight. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
no, I don't want to agree in this moment.
You don't want to agree with that?
Nope.
You looking for instant change? Something that took decades to be.
I'm gonna say this. It depends on what it is. Like, you know, it depends on what it is. If for years you've been used to putting the toilet paper on where it rolls down instead of rolls under, okay, who cares about that? But when it's like, it just depends on what it is. And relationships are so tricky because the thing of it is, you're dealing with people, and like you said, it's your habits, it's your proclivities, it's things that have just been like part of you that help you do life up until this point. You know what I mean? So yes, I do understand and agree that everything is not instantaneous, but when you're in a dynamic and there's somebody else involved and you want that person to be there, you have to be open and there has to be some, there has to be some give or some take. I'll say this, okay, change does not necessarily happen immediately, but your efforts should be immediate. I should at least be able to see you trying immediately. It may not be resolved right away, but you should be trying.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Look at you like, no, I still want to leave the behind there for like 2 more weeks.
No, I'm saying that like I agree with you that it depends on the individual and whatever it is that they're dealing with, because it's not a one size fits all, and I'm not about this, to put out information to make it feel like that your relationship should fit like mine. Not talking to you, but saying that anybody who may be watching this, I don't want anybody to go out there and be like,
turn off the Slanted brow like, so this is what I heard tonight. Right. You better fix it.
You better fix it right now. And it's like the poor woman or the poor guy is like, but this is what I'm dealing with. Like, everybody has their own cross they got to bear. What's easy to you is hard to me, and what's hard to me is easy to you. So I think that it all needs to be taken into consideration, but all through love. It all has to be about the love. If there's no love there, then you got a serious problem, an issue.
If there's no love there, then why are you there?
Yeah,
you can't take that one. If that person ain't loving you, then what's the point?
Yep. That and being long suffering, patience. Yeah, I heard it. Don't act like you having a malfunction, Keena.
I don't know what you talking about. Wait, my camera froze.
Patience is a key thing when it comes to relationships. It's like if you don't have patience, if you don't have long suffering, if you don't have love, then it's not going to work. Period. And if you don't have an openness and a willingness to change for the better, it ain't going to work. You might as well go ahead and hang it up, go find somebody else, or just be by yourself and stay alone. Period. Okay. That's my what's been good, and I'm getting off my little soapbox, my little open soapbox.
You see me like
right, exactly. Moving on. April Fools, folks. It is April Fools. It's April the 1st, and we're gonna talk about did anybody do any type of April Fools pranks today? If you did, leave a comment down below. We would love to hear what you have done. Discuss that, talk about like the complexities of it, or if it's simple and it was effective, that's all that matters. And then we're also going to find out like what are some April Fool's pranks that you should not do.
Ever.
Let's start off with that. Like, what are some pranks that you think you should never do, even if it's on April Fool's? Like you don't do that
ever. So I'm gonna say top 2. If you're in a relationship, never do a I cheated on you prank. They're not going to believe that. They're not going to believe it was a joke. I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, April Fool's. When you go to sleep, though, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that. And you should never pull a prank on somebody pretending to be like pregnant or anything like that. Like, that's not fun. Stuff like that is just not funny. It's just not like
the pregnant thing. The pregnant thing, I definitely would be like, nah, don't do it. But in my mind, it's fun to play it out. Like in my head, I'd be like, man, I would love to like shock my mom and be like, yo, so and so is pregnant, just to see what the initial reaction would be. But again, with it being April 1st, though, like I think they will lean into that. Like if they're a smart person, they will lean into it and be like, you bet, hey, this is April Fool's, you better be playing.
See, but the thing is, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not good at pranking people because I end up like I'm trying to hold it in and I'll be trying to like, no, like for real. And people just don't tend to believe me. Like when I'm trying to prank them, it doesn't work. But I'm telling you, it's just some stuff you shouldn't do. Or no, like like we talked about earlier, just never pretend like you're in serious danger. Like don't call somebody saying you was in an accident or, just stuff like that. Like some stuff is just not funny. I can't see because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, no, you're good. Oh, you reading it?
I can't. That's what I was saying. I need you to tell me what she's saying. Hi, Jamisha.
Oh, okay. So Jamisha, she said, hello, good people. I remember when me and my family was at Old Country Buffet.
Woo, Old Country Buffet.
I know old days. And she said, a good friend of our family has a disability. We called him Cripple Dave. Wait a second. I'm sorry for anybody who's out there that has a
That
disability.
is so not PC.
But
Go
right,
ahead.
called him Cripple Dave and said we walked in the restaurant and he fell to the ground and started shaking. Everyone ran over to him screaming, call 911. Dave lifted
It
up
was
from
a
the floor
prank.
and said, April Fool, he should never did this, although it was hilarious. Wow.
First of
Oh,
all, First of all, no. I'm gonna say I'm not. I almost called him what she said. First of all, Dave, you don't, because if you're going to, I just feel like he's making the most of his situation. Like he's
yeah,
using that to be able to like laugh and still be light and have fun. So you to go. But
yeah,
I would have been so mad after I found out he was okay. Like I would have like pushed his wheelchair away from him a little bit. Like now, that's the April Fool. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. Because people were like afraid to like run into
right,
tents him. I would have
right.
flipped out if he just started laughing. Like I'd have been like, no, just move your chair a little bit. That's what you get.
Exactly. It's like you don't play with people's hearts. Like
No.
some people's hearts can't take it. And it's like,
Or
oh my gosh,
yeah, or don't act like you breaking up with somebody or stuff like I don't know, just stuff that people won't be able to get over quickly. Like, don't do that. Just don't
yeah.
do
Yeah, I mean, but then it's like, what's the whole point of April Fools? Like, are there any safe April Fools pranks out there besides just doing a whole jump scare? Like the jump scares to me can be kind of played out, especially
the
like
jump
if
scares. I'm lost. What's that?
okay, so like a jump scare. For those who don't know what a jump scare is, it's like when you're not paying attention and someone jumps out from around the corner or behind you,
Oh,
scares you. So like so stuff like that. That's not April
that's
Fool's
not
work.
an April Fool's. That's like
That's
every other
Tuesday.
day in my house.
Yeah, that's like a Tuesday. So it's like you really almost have to go that extreme in order for it to be like an effective April Fool's prank.
Yeah, you do.
So
But mm-mm.
but here's the thing though. Where is the line drawn at when it becomes a lie because you didn't say April Fool's long and quick enough?
That's what when we were talking about this, I was like, wait, so it's grace for a lie? Like there's a certain grace period before it's considered a lie. Like when you're pranking somebody and you're tricking somebody, like you know what I'm saying? You're not telling the truth. You're trying to convince them of something to trick
Right,
them. So April
right.
lie. There we go. April lie.
April lie. April lie.
But I don't know. I don't want to say this because it's gonna sound like I'm justifying lying because that's not good. But I guess it's just your intent. Like you're just trying to get a laugh. You're just trying to whatever. But
Yeah.
for the super safe people, who are like I don't participate in April Fool's Hunting now because no, the Lord is. You
The
sit
Lord,
over there.
the Lord frowns upon April Fools.
April Fools didn't even exist when the Bible was written. I digress. But I'm
Right.
just saying, you just don't want to do something that is going to be like detrimental or something that somebody can't get over quickly.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like for some people they have no chill. Like I've watched people on do pranks and stuff and like scare their significant others or like do these little pranks like on TikTok or whatever, and they are hilarious. It's like we love to see people in their moments of distress, and we think that is funny. Like one that I saw that was like a trend was these people were like standing behind like the edge of a corner. Like if you can imagine like the place where they converge, the corners where they converge. So you got one person walking down the street, and then imagine you see somebody backing up from around the corner, straight like right in front of you, saying no, 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 and then you hear this gun pop.
It's a gunshot. I've seen that.
And then people are like freaking out, like running. Some people even.
I was gonna say I wouldn't even know it was a joke because I'd be so far in the other direction. Like I'd be like 911, somebody in trouble.
Right. It's like I'm not about to stick around. Like I just witnessed somebody get popped. Nah, I'm good.
Nah, I didn't see nothing. Matter of fact, I was looking at my watch. How about that? As I was running in the other direction. Nah.
Right. No, I ran in the other direction because somebody called my name. Like I didn't even witness anything.
So you gonna lie on top of V, like matter of fact, I was never even there. How about that?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. I've seen those pranks though. I mean, scare pranks are funny to me. I just like I said, within reason, don't do something that people can't get over quickly. And they be side-eyeing you for the next couple of days. Like, don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
even
no,
play
yeah.
with
You,
people's
you
trust like that.
definitely have to be cautious of that. Jamisha, she said, "Why is April called April Fool? Do you know the origin of it?" I don't, but I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah,
The
I don't know.
origin of April Fool's Day. Um, and it looks like, I hope this is not like lengthy. I just want like the April
Right. Can
done
we get the
first.
summary? Can you get the
So it says here that on April 1st in the 1700, English pranksters began popularizing. It says that English pranksters began popularizing the annual tradition of April Fool's Day by playing practical jokes on one another. So this dates back to the 1700s. No, I'm sorry. It says some historians speculate that April Fool's Day dates back to 1582, when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Georgian calendar, as called for by the Council of Trent in 1563. People who were slow to get the news or failed to recognize that the start of the new year had moved to January 1st and continued to celebrate it during the last week of March through April 1st became the butt of the jokes and hoaxes. So it does have a an origin. It appears that that is grounded in something solid. I didn't know this before, but that's pretty interesting. That especially when you start dealing and talking about calendars and stuff like that, which that's a whole nother topic I'm not even about to dive into. But yeah, that's the origin of April Fools. So for me, um, I don't really recall any type of April Fool's prank pulled on me that was memorable. And I don't really recall any April Fool's joke that I had played on anybody else that was memorable. I played pranks before on people, but it wasn't on April Fool's. It was just like in the midst of a prank. So I mean, I could talk about those cases where I had water gun fights, full blown water gun fights in a house, not my house, but in somebody else's house, full blown buckets of water being thrown on people in the house.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, we was fooling. We
buckets
were
of water?
buckets because not everybody had a gun. So some people was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this bucket right here. I'm going to the kitchen sink, and somebody's about to catch all this H2O, all this agua. You about to get all of it. So, yeah. And then also, I think I shared before talking about sticking mayonnaise underneath somebody's car door handles, and I ruined their paint job.
What?
Yes.
Y'all doing too much.
It just happens to not have been on April the 1st, but I just couldn't do something like that out of the blue. Like I don't know. Maybe next year. Maybe next year I'll participate and I'll think of something that's safe. And I'll just prank somebody. It could be
Leave
you.
me out of it.
Leave
Leave
you
me
out.
out of it.
Just give me
Don't
an
pull
address.
no prank like that on me.
Just let me know where you live at, and you'll experience it firsthand.
If you want to stay my friend.
Oh, I'll be your friend even afterwards.
Let me tell you though. Let me finish my little disclaimer.
Okay.
If you want to stay on my good side,
Oh, okay. Okay.
don't pull no prank on me like that.
No, I wouldn't put
Taking my
mayonnaise
paint off
underneath.
my car.
No, I wouldn't do that. Like the type of prank that I would pull on some people is something like I'll saran wrap your car.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I'll just keep going over and over your car. So like when you get out there and you about to go like to open the car door and then you realize like this dude has saran wrap my car. Yeah, I'll do that. I would do something like that because I would laugh at that. Like if somebody did me like that, I would kind of be I would be like in tears. But do not toilet paper my house. Like don't TP my house.
If you pull a prank on me, I'll be sure to TP your house.
Well, I'm not doing it then.
I promise I will TP your house.
It ain't happening, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Mary said I told someone I had fish in sink with water.
Huh?
Hold on. She said that she told somebody that she put some fish in the sink with some
Okay.
water. Some live fish. I'm taking it. Yeah. Minor stuff like that, that is safe. That's not going to get nobody in no
I
serious
don't get
trouble.
it.
Ain't nobody. Yeah, like if I walked into your house and I said, "Hey, I put some goldfish in your sink."
Oh, like in someone's sink. Like she literally
Yes.
did that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Like,
safe.
yeah, that's safe. Safe. You don't have to worry about anybody having a heart attack. But the other ones, you stay clear of. Stay clear of them cheating pranks. Stay clear of them. So and so had died pranks. Stay clear of all of those types because they're not safe. Not
Yeah.
safe at all.
Mm-mm.
All right. So I don't know if anybody else want to share any other April Fool practical jokes or not, but let's move on to something a little bit more serious.
Oh, look, it's only a little bit more serious.
A little bit, just a pinch more serious. But I promise that after we get finished talking about that, we're going to get back into some other lighthearted topics. But we definitely got to talk about this whole Derek Chauvin trial. And that deals with the whole George Floyd death that had happened back, I want to say in May, almost a year ago.
That's so unbelievable that it's been that long. Yeah.
It has been that long, and here we are now getting the trial underway, which I will say this, that is one of the biases that I dislike when it comes to the police and civilians. They take forever to have the trial start. But if it's a regular civilian, they're in handcuffs and before the judge next week, without no time to be able to get yourself your case together, to get yourself a good attorney, like none of that stuff. So anyways, this has been day 3. They wrapped day 3 up. I think they're going to have day 4 tomorrow. And things are not looking good for Derek.
They shouldn't be looking good for Derek.
Yeah. The other cops that were there, I was kind of concerned about them being drugged into this because they, how can I put it? They were underneath. Like Derek was acting as the superior officer on site, giving orders and everything else like that. So it's kind of like any good soldier would do. It's like I'm just obeying orders. I'm not, I'm new to this job, this position, and I don't want to step out of line. And so you're basically trusting this guy to tell you to do the right thing. And apparently he wasn't telling him to do the right thing. And that resulted in him and having a hand in the death of George Floyd. So anything you want to know about the trial, guys, ask questions down below or leave comments because I don't know everything. But based off of what I've seen over the past 3 days, they had called upon, I think about maybe, 7 witnesses. They had the dispatcher, the 911 dispatcher up there. They had the EMT that was there, and I'm talking about the officials, like the ones that are there to protect the community, serve the community. They had those people on the stand. They had witnesses on the stand, which remarkably, folks, they had an off-duty EMT who was there, who witnessed it. Yes. So it's almost like the right people were in place because this was about to go down. They also had another gentleman that was there who was like an official, like trained, like I ain't gonna say MMA fighter, but he knew about he trained with some of the police officers at a gym that taught choke holds and stuff like that. So he was talking about like blood chokes and all type of moves. But he spoke. The 9-year-old girl who witnessed it, she spoke also. And also
I didn't know there was a 9-year-old.
Yeah, it was a 9-year-old that was there, I think, with their sibling, I believe, or somebody that was a little older than them, that was a teenager that had actually videotaped the whole incident. And so everybody seemed to have a heart. Like there was tissues that was being pulled from the tissue dispenser. People were regretting not have had jumped in Like we've heard that several times. And it's like they had more remorse and more regret than the officer who had committed this act. So it's like, dude, that says it all. That Chauvin really did not care. And it just helps back up what we see on the camera.
I'll tell
Um,
you this though. While we were talking and planning for the show tonight, we were talking about, you had expressed how you don't really, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't really think that he'll get what's due, right? Because, he's in blue and we've seen, we've seen things that haven't necessarily been fair.
yeah,
I kind of feel like, with respect to first, I don't think they're just gonna let this go. Now, do I think he's gonna get the death penalty? No.
no,
But, do I think that he's probably going to be made an example of to some extent? It's possible. Just
yeah,
because when you look at everything that happened in the wake of George Floyd's death, it's like, do you really want that to happen again times 10? Do you really want that to happen times
right,
20? You know what I mean? So I don't
right,
think that they're just going to brush it off. It's too big. This thing went so far beyond the
yeah,
US. This is being discussed so many places. And so basically it's like, well, we're watching. And we're
yeah,
watching to see if you all are still going to be irresponsible, if you're still going to be biased, or you're still going to be just utterly disrespectful to, a race of people. Are you going to pervert justice? I think that there's enough pressure and there's been more than enough exposure that's going
yeah,
to demand a certain result. Is it going to be everything that it should be? Probably not. But I
no,
don't think that they're just going to roll over and be like, all right, Chauvin, you can go home. He won't make it. God forbid.
yeah,
I'm not trying to say anything bad, but you know what I mean? I think that they have to look at the big picture and be like, okay, well, let's be smart here. Like, this is one man versus a system versus, communities. And so he's not going to just be like, oh, yeah, put money on my books, I'm about to chill. No, because then after that, you have to go into a system that you were on the other side of. So you
right,
look real good in the courtroom right now, because when the sentence comes down, you have to face people who saw this same information, and you're going to be, they got protective custody, but
yeah. Well, they can only do so much, like
that's what I'm
depending
saying.
on like where he's sent off to. But I hate to be in that guy's shoes right about now because it's not looking good at all.
I mean,
Yeah, and I do believe that he won't get what people want him to, get smacked with is like the ultimate, like, yeah, like he gets, like he single-handedly is responsible for killing this guy. But I know that his defense, his attorneys are saying, like, well, there was drugs in his system, not Chauvin, but talking about Floyd, that had aided in him not being able to have the regular amount of oxygen needed to be able to survive.
So whack. That's so whack.
But at the same time, that just again goes back to the officer Derek, and also really the training that the whole police system has in place. It's like when somebody calls under that's handcuffed, that you have already detained, saying that they are uncomfortable, or they're making claims of I can't breathe, or that my life, my very well-being is in danger. Everything should stop, and you should focus on that individual, but and not forget that they are a human being, and not just, oh, they're the worst of the worst, and we got to subdue them, and our hearts are turned off, and that our hearts are cold. But I think that that's where Chauvin went wrong.
But
But go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No,
it just something jumped out because you said he was already in cuffs. So what threat does he pose to you? You know what I'm saying?
None.
That's when
None.
get all that little extra, you think you G.I. Joe up out your throat. Like he's in cuffs. Send him to the side, do the process.
Yeah.
The thing I do want to speak to what seems like excuses being made. Oh, he already had drugs in the system. And then I remember one, we were talking about that heavily as it was going on. There was one report like, oh, well, he already had COVID. It's like to justify. And it's like, okay,
Right.
Even if these things were present, even if these things were true, certainly a knee on the neck did not help. So we're not going to let's not, let's not, because I could see if he was stumbling onto the scene and already couldn't breathe. That's one
Right.
thing. No,
Exactly.
he wasn't in any distress. Let's not
Right.
let's not disrespect this man's
Right.
life, his children, his family. Don't do that. And like I said, when something happens, and especially maybe only when the cops are involved, they bring up the rap sheet from 1982 when they stole some bubble gum from their neighbor. Like, yeah, well, he was a felon anyway. Like, that doesn't justify his life being taken. Like, let's not do that. Let's stick to the facts. Let's be accountable. Let's let justice do what it's supposed to do. But we already know, just from, we've seen it plenty of times before, that they try to play these little games that are obvious to everyone else. But you think because you say it with a straight face, it sounds good and we're going to bite it and buy it. No, he wasn't in distress. He wasn't falling over. He wasn't bent over expressing any distress before his breathing was compromised by his knee on his neck. Just call it what it is and deal with the facts, deal with the truth, and don't disrespect the intellect of the people, and don't rob us of, the justice that's owed this man and his family first, but then us as a community and a society that's watching.
Right.
Don't even play with people like that.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yep. And again, to your point, like, even with him being in the wrong, you still are there to be able to help. Like that's the whole point of the police system. I believe it's not only just to wait and be reactive. You guys are supposed to be proactive. So it's like when you look at the video, at one point, this is before the knee. They were trying to put him in the car, and he was even saying then, because of the situation that he had caused, it was making it hard for him to breathe. And I know for some police officers, they probably heard it all, heard every excuse as to not why to get in the back of a car. And he was having breathing problems. He was saying, like, I'm claustrophobic. I can't breathe. It's too tight. And it was already working his body. You know what I'm saying? His body was already shutting down. And the police officers were not aware of it. And like I said, they've heard it probably a million times, and they just said, you know what? He's just talking. Let's just take him out. Let's put him down. But again, your point is he's already in handcuffs. He's not going anywhere.
What are you gonna do? Run with his arms behind his back? He ain't gonna get far. You can't get your stride together. Like,
I would love to see somebody get up off the ground that are in handcuffs, that's surrounded by police officers, and get away. Like there's no need for you to even touch the individual anymore. If anything,
let them right there. Like, if you feel like that,
But not even that. They should have just set him up against the car, said, "Hey, do you need some water? Do you need some oxygen? Talk to me. What's wrong? What's been happening?" But it's like sometimes they just don't operate like that, and it's like a job,
But like
it's so dangerous.
Like you said, the thing that's missing is compassion. The thing that's missing is having a heart. And so, and I'll say on the other end of it that police officers, emergency, first responders, they see the worst of everything. And like you said, they have heard it all before, like, and so unfortunately, hazards of the job becomes that, they become desensitized.
Yeah.
It's not a person, it's a situation, and it's so, I think that, some first responders may just be living in a constant state of PTSD. Like, it's like, you see this all the time. And I think that, counseling should be mandatory. You're a person at the end of the day, like you see the worst of human beings. So to that point, to their humanity, I can see how, okay, it's another call. It's somebody else. Here we go again. You know what I mean? And then years of this, like, I can see how a person could become this way. I don't excuse it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, like, hazards of the job. That's one of them things where you just don't see people as people after a while. That's where it needs to be a responsibility of, the higher ups, and then your personal accountability to make sure you stay connected as a person.
Yes.
It's neither here nor there. This particular individual had done something like this before. And a lot of times people are in these positions and they feel like they're invincible.
Yeah.
You have these cliques that, if you in blue, you don't say anything against that other person. They got, the good old boys, all of that type stuff that makes certain people feel like they're untouchable and they can do whatever they want to do.
Right.
The thing that I'm grateful for is that he's even being brought to trial. We've seen where people just like, oh yeah, well, whatever, nothing happened. I'm glad that they're at least giving this the proper attention that it deserves. Hopefully we see justice to the greatest extent that we can. Like you said, is it going to be to the extent that it would be if it were a regular civilian? No. But this is on the world stage, so they better show up, because if not, we already saw what people are willing to do.
Yep, definitely, most definitely. One thing that stood out to me was the man who was trained in, like, chokeholds and everything like that, who was the witness who watched this happen unfold before him. When he was on stage and the defense attorney was questioning him, they tried to paint him like an angry black man. And he even said that. He was like, I'm not going to let you paint me as an angry black man.
Oh, the man that was on the
that was watching. That was questioned. Yeah. Okay. He was being questioned because they were saying, like, they try to make it appear as if because of him calling this officer a bum, yelling at this officer, talking about yelling at Shogun, that caused him not to be able to perform his job. Because
you don't know how to be a cop under stress.
Because it made the situation and the environment hostile. I said to myself, I was like, that's a very weak argument, because you got people over there at Buckingham Palace the guards who stand outside in front, and they maintain complete composure. No matter what you say, no matter how you act in front of them, like, you almost literally got to put your hands on them in order for them to be able to rightfully react. And if you can't do that, like how it is, I don't know if the cops are trying to expect it to be like how it is when you play golf. Like, you got to be real quiet on the green so that they can concentrate, that they can hit the ball. Versus going to an NBA game, if you're shooting a free throw, trust me, everybody's going to be yelling, making all type of ruckus, all type of noise to distract you. But you know what? They make them free throws. Go ahead.
What police officer that is called to the scene thinks that he's walking up into a cordial situation? If they have had to call the police, drama, you already are preparing yourself to, you don't know what you're walking up on. So let's not play this, oh, I was distracted. First of all, you've been a cop too long and you've seen too much and you've done too much. So don't act like stuff around you is distracting you. Like you said, that's weak. And it's also tired. And it's also a cop-out, because they have been trained for combat, chaos, stressful situations. They're supposed to diffuse stuff. They're supposed to protect and serve. Miss me talking about you was distracted because somebody called you a bum.
Right.
Don't see. I don't want to go there. I don't want to start talking in that inner Harriet. Don't do that.
I mean, but it's the truth. It's the truth, and it's like it's the same old tire arguments that they're trying to pull out to get this guy off the hook. And it's just a sad narrative that we're just going through right now. It's almost like protocol, and we're just hoping that by the end of it all, that this guy will get some type of judgment and sentencing. Because here's the other thing, people, when you're convicted, that is nothing. You can get convicted and let off. Think about that. You can get convicted of a crime, and the judge is the one who puts the final sentencing. There's two parts to it. The jury can say he's guilty, 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 guilty. And then the judge is the one who says, all right, because of this verdict, I'm going to give you X, Y, and Z. So it's like, we have to not just celebrate because, oh, he went to trial. Like, okay, that's one little piece of the thing. And we just can't be like, we can't be like, oh my gosh, like, he's been guilty, guilty, guilty. That's another, like, that's a step in the right direction. Now we got to look at the judge and be like, okay, now what type of sentencing is going to, be laid down? Because if the judge doesn't come through and pull through with whatever the maximum, judgment that he can, lay down, then it's like all that is for nothing.
But again, like I said, the world is watching. That judge does not want to have to watch his back, he or she, every day. You don't want that. You don't want that smoke. Just get in there and do your job.
You don't want that heat.
You don't want that smoke. You want to be able to go to Walmart when you want to.
Right.
You want to be able to, you don't want your whole family have to be a witness protection program for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Just do what you're supposed to do. Get in there and do what you're supposed to do. Like I said.
Right.
Like I said, do I think it's going to be to the fullest extent of the law possible? Probably not.
Yeah.
But it's going to be something. Don't nobody want that smoke.
Nah. Nope. Especially Minneapolis. Like Minneapolis had burned. It was burning. Like if y'all can remember, like it was going down. I mean, they took over the police station. They burned that up.
Didn't they burn it?
Yeah, they burned up the police station.
Not playing games.
They looted, which I don't agree with. But if y'all remember last year, how I explained that when you are in a relationship, like a couple, like a person who's being abused, who's fed up, they don't go to their next door neighbor and tear down their house. They punch holes in their own house. They throw their own dishes. They do all this stuff. And it's like what America is seeing right now is just the holes being punched in the walls because we're fed up. We're done. It's like quit beating up on us and expecting us to behave like good little, peasants. Right. As if like, oh, it's okay. You can slap us around. It's okay that you don't give us what we want as far as these convictions that obviously the rest of the world is looking at America like, what are y'all doing? Like y'all supposed to be the greatest nation and y'all acting like this towards your own people. Mm-hmm. That's a joke.
No, not your own. We're not their people. We're people that live here.
Yes. I'm just a pilgrim passing through.
Listen, there you go, being deep. I'm just saying, nobody in their right mind, mistreats their own. We're not, it's never been that. And I think that's the thing that we've been warring over in the first place. We've never been seen as, we're part of this. It's almost like y'all still property, but
right.
Small plug. Never been a slave. Not gonna let you treat me like one, okay? Okay. Not gonna do it. But it just is what it is. And I, hopefully we'll see the best result out of this that we can, and not, and not the disgraces that we've seen, prior to. So just prayers, and prayers for his family, because this is making, not that they're over it, you know what I mean, but they have to relive everything again.
Yeah,
they have to relive everything again. And prayers to the people who had to, prayers for the people who had to come and be witnesses, like to carry that guilt, to think that they had some power over that situation. Because like I remember you talking about that. Like if I were there, I would have jumped in, and I'm like, so you would have caught a bullet too? You would have had a knee on your neck too? Like nobody knows how they would respond in that situation. And I know everybody that was there, either from being shocked to afraid to enraged, nobody, and I just really pray that they release that guilt and not, hold themselves accountable for something that they had no control over. But I know that they're traumatized to see that from top to bottom and watch that man be suffocated, like that. Yeah. So I'm just praying for everybody that's involved. I pray that, justice is, served and delivered, that his family can find peace, and that, we as a nation, those of us that are aware enough, compassionate enough, plugged in enough and want change enough, that this is something that we can work together to make, to make better. I mean, is it going to completely go away? When there is good and evil that coexist, you're going to always see things like this happen, unfortunately. But hopefully those of us that, want what's right and want what's best, begin to, increase in number, and then we can increase in our presence and make a change. So that's how I feel about it.
And to piggyback on talking about, that guilt that these people are carrying, my heart goes out to those, and I'm hoping that they do find some source of relief, because seeing them on the stand, they were all saying that, like, they all deal with regret, and every single last one of them was like, I wish I had did more, and what is that more? that is to intervene. You know,
Yeah, but they could have all called bullets. Like nobody knows.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's like I don't know if police officers have the right, and then again, I don't know, have the right to be able to pull their weapons out like that, and start shooting people because it's like we're trying to get save somebody's life.
Where have you been living the last couple of years? What you mean? You don't think they have the right?
What I mean is that is it worth it? Like you said, is it worth running out there? Because the way I look at it, if it were you, I don't think I could stand by and I'm watching you just like fade away. Like I'm not about that, I'm not about to have that on my conscience. Number one. Number two, it's like you're my sister. So it's like God forbid that I just stand there and be cool with it up to the point to where all I'm gonna do is just yell. Like I feel that if I'm able to just get you a moment of breath, whether I tackle a cop, because and especially like if I feel like there's more than just like me there, if there's other people, I'm gonna call on everybody else to be like, y'all better help me out because it's more of us than it is them. Like
I think, but it's so, and I get that, I understand that, respect it and appreciate it. Nice to know you'll have my back,
all day.
But, few things. You got to catch me first, and I'll. You ain't about to have me in the street, no. But it's that. But then too, like I said, people are so. There's some people that are really, really just afraid. Like when they see police presence, they freeze. They're scared. It's this mental thing.
They do.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people too also don't know their rights. Like I think this is the most aware of their rights that civilians have been to say, no, I don't have to get out my car. No, I don't have to answer your questions. No, people didn't know this before. So people have this mentality like, I got to do whatever they say. There's a uniform. There's this and the third. So I think a lot of people were experiencing that. Also, they couldn't predict what was going to happen. They didn't know that what they were watching was going to result in the murder of this man. So at best, they're like, they tried to intervene with, making it known like this is wrong. But I don't see the average person. I'm talking about you, V, because you down for tackling cops. I don't see the average person just running and doing that. I mean, if I get that, like it's an emotional response, like if it's family or things like that. Yeah. I've seen people, respond that way. Look, I don't care if you're in a uniform, get off my, Yeah. I'm just saying in this particular situation and circumstance, and people don't understand, like people go into shock. I wish that, I just really hope that they, find peace and healing from that and they forgive themselves because they were just in a situation that I'm sure escalated. Like, come on, nobody knew that was going to happen. I think that they did the best thing they could do. It was recorded, it was caught, it was documented, and now they're showing up. They didn't, just tuck tail and going like, no, I'm gonna sit home. They're doing the best thing that they could do. They're showing up and they're letting their voices be heard. And they're, they're like, look, no, we're gonna say what we saw, and we're gonna be here to make sure that justice is served.
Exactly. That's good. Yeah. That's good. So, as promised, we're not going to end on this. No,
we're not.
Heavy note. So, we're going to move on to the next thing, which is Penny for your thoughts. And what is that about? That is about this
petty of all petty.
That's petty. This should have been done on April Fool's Day.
That's petty king.
So it says that Flatten, a former manager at a OK Walker Luxury Auto Works in Peachtree City, Georgia, told the New York Times that he finally received the final paycheck he had been asking for since quitting his job in November, in the form of oily substance-drenched pennies dumped at the end of his driveway, March the 12th. Can you imagine? Now, hold on. It was $900 worth of pennies, which weighed out to being a little over 500 pounds of pennies in his driveway, drenched in oil, in an oily substance. So if you don't understand what that has done, that has caused the pennies to clump together. It made it even heavier. And he has to clean all those pennies. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I don't know if banks are really like, I ain't gonna say permitted to take all those pennies. Like if you dump them out there, like they won't count them, they won't take them. But you have to yourself roll them up and present the pennies to them. So they gave him a job. They were like, listen, if you want your final paycheck, I don't know what was the animosity between them two, but they was like, here you go. Petty.
You know, my next move would have been, once I saw that, it would be whatever the area code is I'm calling, and I'm going to be nice and give you, no, I'm not. I'm not going to give you a heads up and let you know I'm on my way. I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up with as many as those oily pennies as I can. And I'm going to throw them on the counter. I'm going to throw them at your car. I'm going to throw them everywhere. Don't you ever. Like, how you gonna play somebody like that? First of all, that wasn't money he was just asking for. He worked for that money, so it means you owed him that money. But you're gonna be petty and do it in pennies. You're gonna deliberately do that and then make them oily.
Right.
And drop them at the end of his driveway and he has to pick it up. I'm sorry, I would have stepped over all those pennies and walked to that location. Walk. And I mean it, because I would have needed every bit of that walk.
Right.
To give Jesus a chance to grab a hold of my soul, because don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with my money. Don't play with me. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
That's beyond petty. And like you said, I don't know. That's petty to the extent that somebody quitting the job should not be personal. It's like, okay, it didn't work out. Let me go. But it's like, what bad blood did y'all have between each other? But you gonna take your time to do that?
Yeah. That had to been, and then what made it even worse was that I think that the authorities, I believe, asked the manager, was like, were you responsible for?
And he said, yeah, just said it with his chest.
And he said, I don't recall if I did it or not.
Don't recall. Selective memory.
So he protected himself, like, you know what? But there was a note left behind saying that this is the final payment that you've been asking for. So it was like a pile of pennies with a note on top. You know what? For me, like, I don't know what to do with that. Like they paid you.
I do know. I know what to do with that. No, you know. I know what to do with that. It's called I'm on my way. That's what it's called. I'm on my way. Yep. And then once I, you know, just let you know how I feel about your petty, not gonna say what I would do, but once I let you know about your petty, if I got a call saying, Shekinah, did you do that? I don't recall. Whether I did or didn't. Matter of fact, what day and time was this?
Right.
That's a mess. That's a mess.
That is the worst. That's the worst.
That's a mess.
So also for those this might get a little testy, because I understand that there's people on both sides of this fence or this topic. But let's talk about Lil Nas X and the shoes.
Wait though, because you didn't bring me all
the way into what happened.
Yeah, because okay, I only saw a portion of it, and then I only saw like a piece of. I saw a picture of him kind of just sitting, and there was a statement. I'm not going to say what the statement was, but I need you to bring me up to speed along with our viewers, so that I can win it.
So I did watch the Lil Nas X video. And this is how I found out about the videos, because I was on either Instagram or TikTok, and it was talking about Satan shoes, and I was like, Satan shoes, and it was like by Nike. Not that didn't say it was by Nike, but it was the Air Max version of these Satan shoes that had 666 on it. Then it had the scripture talking about, and he fell like, you know, like a bolt of lightning or whatever, that scripture. And it said that it also had a drop of human blood in the sole of each shoe. So it's this liquid that's floating around the bottom of these Air Force or Air Max, whatever you want to call them, Nike shoes. So in my mind, when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's got to be fake. So I went to Twitter, and lo and behold, it was real. And then I started thinking to myself, like, Nike's behind this? That's crazy. Like, why would Nike even let something like this, happen? Not knowing that it wasn't that it was an unofficial made shoe. So then it was saying that it was made in light of the music video that he put out. That's called I can't remember. But they made 666 copies of these shoes, and I
Oh
think
my gosh.
they were selling for, I think, $1,000+ a piece, something of that nature. And so people are buying them and everything. And so I went to go watch the music video. And in the video, you have Lil Nas X playing all the roles of the characters that you see in this video. So it starts off with like a snake in the Garden of Eden, and him seducing Lil Nas X. And then you have him on trial in a coliseum full of Lil Nas X's and stuff, and he's being stoned to death. Then he starts floating up to heaven, and then before he can get up any higher, this pole comes up, and he grabs the pole. Then he does this whole, swirl down, like stripper tease pole swirl down. And then he winds up in hell, and then he winds up giving Satan a lap dance. And then he ends the video with him killing Satan and taking the horns from Satan and putting them on himself. Eyes glow, wings come out. The end. So I wasn't paying attention, but people pointed out, they were saying if you look at the video, you can see that Satan is wearing these shoes. That's why they're called Satan's shoes. And I was like, oh, okay, like I get it. But when I say that the people are having a field day on both sides, they are having a field day. Conspiracy theorists out there, Christian people out there, LGBT people out there, people who say, you know what, I don't care. They are all out there having something to say, like I am, about this whole situation. And it's crazy. It's crazy because it gets better. And I'll let you say something that Nike is now suing,
as they should,
that made these shoes because it said that they're infringing on their trademark.
Good job.
So go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Good job. First of all, good job, Nike, because if they set back and just let this happen, it's like, that could backfire in a major way. Are they gonna hurt? You know what I mean? But I'm glad that they're taking a stand and say, don't pull us in on something that we didn't agree to. Good job. Now, to Lil Nas X, I would be like, what did Jesus do to you? You seem like you got something in you got beef with Jesus.
Yeah.
And then to me, it just seems like it's blatant, like disrespect, like a middle finger to Christianity or believers or whatever. So it just seems like when I see people do things like this, it's like, who hurt you?
Mm-hmm.
Who hurt you? And why are you being so adamant about disrespecting something that either, you experience some hurt in or that doesn't believe like you believe? But why would you put all this energy into just being so disrespectful to something that exists and is going to exist even after these shenanigans? That's number one. Like, why you butthurt? Like, what? Who hurt you? Yeah. Second of all, I think that it's so like when I see people just do things, you always kind of think like, well, what made you do that? And people just keep going further and further and doing more and more. And the thing that is so sad is that it seems like our freedom to, say and do whatever we want to do, it's like it's a blessing and a curse. Because what are you doing with this? How are you empowering anyone? What good, what's the point? It just all seems just like so blatant. It's like I said, it seems like somebody hurt his feelings and he having a fit. And I also, the picture that I saw that had the caption under it, which now makes sense because he had on the red shoes. Like I said, he's not somebody I follow. Like it was just like, oh, okay, that guy. Okay.
Well, I was going to say, if I was going to interject real quick, because you made a very, very great point. You said this is a guy that I do not follow, but he has a lot of other people who follow him. A lot of the young people following him because he made that Old Town Road song. So it's like people look up to him and for him to go this route or I should say to reveal this side, it's very dicey, sketchy. But go ahead.
But I'm gonna respond to what you just said. That's a problem. Like, why are we looking at people, that are entertainers as people that we should be following anyway? You just out here to entertain. I'm not about to and that's me. I know that, younger people are looking to them and this, that, and the third. First of all, like in my home, that would never, we're not even playing that game. Like, that won't be played in my home. It's just certain, so it's the parents' responsibility to make sure that they watching and monitoring and they up on what their kids are doing. I digress. What I'm saying is that I think I kind of lost my thought, but I just feel like, you just being extra. I feel like you're being extra. And to me, it's like people just push the envelope as far as they can, whatever they can do to be, as far out there as they can. That's what they want to do. Now, of course, there are going to be people that tie this to the Illuminati type stuff, like you said, conspiracy theory type stuff. They're going to do that. For me, it just looks like blatant disrespect, and it looks like somebody having a tantrum because maybe he was rejected. No, that brings me back to my stuff. Sorry for my all over the place, but I feel like it's somebody that's being just blatantly disrespectful because he was hurt in a place. What solidifies that thought or belief is that I saw, solidifies it for me. There was a caption with him in the picture, and he was saying that basically the church condemned him or said he was going to go to hell because he's, homosexual, this, that, and the third. So like I said, this video to me is like a middle finger to the church and believers. Okay, you mad, you don't agree, whatever. But I feel like it's just extra. Like, who cares? And why did you do a pole dance for Satan? I don't get it.
Yeah,
nothing surprises me anymore. Just people can just do what they want to do now. So
yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I did. I watched him do an interview, breaking down the song and how he came up with the song, and it was enlightening. Because I always huh.
What did he smoke?
No, well, see, I was confused.
Your sober mind came up with that. If it did, I'm crossing the street if you walking up.
Look, well, it all made sense. It was like after watching him explain and break down his song, because it's like I didn't understand it. Like I was like, "Call Me by Your Name." Like I'm like that doesn't make sense. Like who's he talking to? What is it about? And it was very confusing. So upon watching him talk and about, breaking this video down, he mentioned about there being a movie that came out last year called Call Me by Your Name. And I was like, oh, I remember hearing about that movie and seeing that trailer. And it's an LGBT movie. It's about a gay guy who goes on vacation with his parents, and he comes across another gay guy. And I guess they are calling each other by their name. I didn't watch the movie. It still doesn't make sense, but he's alluding to that film. But he said he watched that movie. It was his first gay film that he ever watched. And he said that he was out somewhere and he met some guy. And it was like it all kind of made sense to him in his mind. He tied it all together. He started hanging out with this guy, started catching feelings, and he started writing this love song that also was addressing the condemnation that he was getting from the church. So I was like, oh, so he's very cognizant of what these Christian people are saying to him, saying that
yes, that's obvious.
Because of your lifestyle, because of your lifestyle, you're going to go to hell. And so in the song, some of the lyrics he's talking about saying that we're in the dark, talking about being in the closet. He's saying that, even if you're in the closet, it doesn't matter. Like we'll do what we do, our sin. Like I'm here to sin. Like he's admitting,
saying like blatant this shit.
Saying like these things are sinful. And then he said that him being stoned, that's all biblical about stoning people for their sins and stuff. And he said that what's so puzzling to him is that he was like, I sent myself to hell, which is basically what Christians were telling me, and they're still mad at me. And I thought about that, and I said, wow. I said, you know what? You kind of got a point there, because at least he didn't, say blatantly that I'm going to go to heaven anyway, because he showed that he was like going up to heaven and he got rejected. So it's almost as if like there's a double entendre there, where it's like there's truth in his imagery, and there's a warning there, but he's making light of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's blatant. It's just like I said, you know, if anybody offended by me saying this, there's worse things. But I feel like it's a middle finger to the church. Like, y'all don't agree with my lifestyle. And I'm so like, his explanation is still just like, where did it come from? Where you fell in love with somebody and wrote a love letter to like, no. It's about you responding to the church or Christianity by saying that they don't agree with your lifestyle and that you're going to go to hell for it. That's what it is. I don't even get the point about the guy and writing a letter and catching feelings. What is that about?
Well, I mean, because again, it ties it all together. Because you know how it is with like even with Christian rappers, like we tie everything together. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be church, it can be regular life, and I think that is the thing that sometimes church people get a little too churchy with. Like they miss out on just regular life, but God is in the midst of it. From his perspective, he's like, I'm doing regular life, but the sin is in it. Satan is in it. So it's like it's the direct opposite. So it's like it's not a surprise to me that he took that approach. And I almost respect. I respect it. It's like, dude, you spoke your truth, and though it is very harmful in my opinion, I can't sit here and say that what you're telling me is a all complete lie. You know the truth.
So two things.
Yes.
2 things. I get what you're saying. And like I said, I don't know. To me, it's just like, yeah, he's just like, y'all said I was going to hell. Let me show y'all. Not, and especially with him taking the horns off of Satan and putting them on himself. He like, not only is he gonna go to hell, he gonna run hell. That's what he's saying. Right. Like, I'm going with gasoline.
Yes.
Right? Like I'm gonna turn it out. But so that part. And then for me too, it's just like, I don't know why people put so much energy into going against something that they don't even believe in anyway. Like you committed a whole video and a whole concept to just like disrespecting something that's going to exist forever because it existed before you did this, before you were hurt or felt disrespected. Like, you put so much energy into that. Like, I just feel like I said, it just seemed like he's butt hurt. But interesting, we had a request that somebody asked for a portion of the video to be played. I myself have no interest in saying that. That sounds like a whole moment.
Yeah, I'll say this. For those who want to go watch it, you can watch on your own time. Okay. I'm not about to use this platform to promote that. I have no interest in it, and it's conflicting.
I don't want to see it, but there was a request for the video to be seen, so
just look it up. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm pretty sure if you just type in "Call Me by Your Name," Lil Nas X, it'll pop up. Now I will say this: the first time I heard of Lil Nas X's name, I thought that it was a joke because of Nas. Like I thought that it was like a diss. I was like, who's Lil Nas X? Like, who is this guy? And it wasn't a joke. But Elaine said, wow, I didn't think about it like that. I'm pretty sure that was from a statement I made about 4 minutes ago. She said, it's like when people say, I'm going to hell and I'm going to have a party while I'm there. Yeah, none of this is new. I mean, like we've been through the era of rock and roll, where people was like, I'm gonna go to hell and there's gonna be a party down there and friends are gonna be down there and everything. So it's like now it's it's hip hop's turn to bear the brunt of all this, ideology. And it's scary because it's like, oh, this is what some people say, oh, black people don't get into all this type of stuff. Like this is not what we do. But it's like, this is beyond skin tone. This is just human nature. Like it's just growing. It's just this whole sin nature within man is just getting to the point to where it's like how they said, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Listen, that's like I said. And it's so, I might sound passive in my response, but I remember one time I was looking at things and I'm like, God, why do people do this? Like, why are people? And it's like, stop being surprised that there's evil in the world. Stop being surprised that there are people that don't agree with Christianity. Stop being surprised.
Yeah.
Stop being surprised at, like you said, human nature.
Yep.
Humans are capable of anything.
Anything.
We get to see the best of that when people tap into amazing, beautiful, creative things.
Yep.
We get to see that. The opposite of that is that we include all of us in that.
Yep. Yes.
We are capable of anything. And so whatever you decide to put your energy in and your effort in, you're going to see people do that. And like I said, for me, it just sounds like he's hurt.
Yeah.
It's like he felt disrespected. That's just like if somebody came for you like, V, locks are wrong and God don't like them. And you going to get your locks done and show up. And then you going to be like, I'm cold with my locks. Like, it's just like a tantrum. And so whatever, God bless him, God help him. I don't understand why people would like to purchase shoes with someone's blood in that. It's just people they do too much. They go too far. And then people do things because they feel like, oh, it's trending or for shock value. And they really don't even understand what they're tapping into and the danger that's in that, because we don't just live in a physical world. We live in a spiritual world as well. And when you're not aware of that, or you don't take that seriously, you leave yourself open up to all kinds of things. So, God's grace and mercy to them in that.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and let's move on. We did have a couple of other
we have a comment. Is that comment still on the screen, or is it just
Kevin says, so God is real, and playing with things, whether you believe or not, will bring a certain energy. Let's hope one is prepared for it. Very true. Very true. Very true. Be ready. Be ready. All right, and we're going to end on this note right here with Easter Sunday. I did not know Easter was going to be here as quick as it came, but this is tomorrow being Good Friday, and then Sunday is Easter Sunday. So what does that look like for you? Anybody? This is not just for.
I'm not taking my kids out here to do Easter egg hunting and come back with COVID. No, I'm okay. I mean, I think it would be cute maybe if we had eggs in the house, but my kids are bigger too. Like, I'd be like, Mom, why you do that? So I don't know. It's not that. And that sounds bad, but I'm talking about the commercialized part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, y'all. Y'all pray for me. I'm not that person. Not that person.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's Easter. And I'm gonna tell you, I have a confession, V. I used to on purpose not go to church on Easter Sunday because I was like, all it is a fashion show. I'm not about to buy brand new clothes for me and all my kids just to see who looked the cutest. We used to sit Easter Sunday out.
Wow.
It was just a fashion show. Like, and then it's funny because like the people that didn't usually come to church would come to church. So it wasn't gonna be any seats anyway. Like, we're not about to fight over seats. We're about to have breakfast. Y'all get some Easter you get some Easter basket, y'all get some candy, brush your teeth good. We chilling at the crib. I've not been that person.
Yeah. For me, I got over Easter decades ago. And I'm talking decades ago. Because it was like dressing up on Sunday, that was just all the time for me growing up.
You have to be in a 3-piece anyway.
Man, look, anyway, shoe sign and everything. Like, listen, you better come with that quarter for offering. But for me, I think it wasn't until like I became like a teenager that I just stopped. I was like, I'm doing jeans. I'm doing jeans and a t-shirt or a plaid shirt or whatever it was. I'm gonna look decent on Sunday. I just was never, from that point on, was just never into Easter. And then I started doing my research, finding out what Easter was all about for real. And I was just like, oh,
all right, break it down. Give it to us in 5 minutes.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna do it in 2.
Okay,
less than that. So, all right, for those who want to find out more information about what I'm about to say, just Google it. No, don't Google it. Go to YouTube and just look up like the origin of Easter. You Google that or look that up on YouTube, and you will be blown away. You'll probably walk away like, I've been lied to all this time. But but in a nutshell, it's all dealing with this goddess of the star. Like, you're dealing with a pagan god. You're dealing with these, the goddess of fertility. That's where the whole bunny rabbit thing comes from. That's where the egg comes from. Fertility, talking about the woman, the womb. She carries the egg. All of that stuff is was to appease the pagan people. So it was like the church back in that time. They felt that if we can compromise and bring in some of you all's rituals and traditions, we can mix that in with our beliefs so that you guys can come and join the church, which is kind of, again, the same thing that points even back to Christmas, that being another pagan holiday. So, I mean, it's a lot of stuff that people can nitpick at. How does God feel about it? I honestly do not want to speak for him. I would say ask him for yourself. But it's like whatever answer you get, trust and believe it's not going to be what you're going to like. Because it's going to be truth. It's going to be real, and you're going to have to deal with that heavy truth, and you're going to have to swallow it because it's hard to give up something that you've been used to doing because it's tradition, you know. So I'll leave it at that. That's my 2 minutes.
That's interesting. Yeah, like I said, it's never been my thing. Like it just hasn't. So
yeah.
It's gonna be Sunday. Staying home. Having a honey ham and spending time
at a distance. Yeah. Love it. I love it. Yeah. Aaron Daniel says, having church at home and eating good after being on a fast for 2 weeks. Okay, my brother, on a fast for 2 weeks. I hope that's been like a Daniel's fast or something, or maybe like, you know, within certain hours. But props.
I can't with you. I can't with you.
What?
Hope was the Daniel fast. So you're not over there weak, needing help for somebody to lift your fort. I couldn't fast for 2 weeks.
Nah. Let alone 3 days. We used to do 3 day fast. Remember that?
We used to do 3 day complete fast. Nothing to drink, nothing to eat. Complete.
Listen. Like Shakira and I, we go back like that. Like we talking like we used to push the plate back, as they say. Rise and shine early in the morning. Praying.
Everybody used to lock in at the church. Yeah. Good days. I haven't done a 3 day fast in over a decade or so. So I think that fasting is good for the body. I'll say that. Oh, you get on my why? I've done fast in the not so distant like past. I have just like, but mine it's not been complete like without anything to eat or drink. No. Yeah, I haven't done that. And when I did do it, it wasn't for like physical benefits. It was a spiritual purpose behind it, as I've been told, and you know, learned and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. Pray my strength.
All right. So with that being said, if there's anything else that anybody else want to leave as far as any comments, please leave them down below. We'll do the best that we can to address them at a later time. But with that, we're gonna sign off. Do you have anything that you want to leave with the people, Shakina?
Just y'all be, you know, I was talking to someone today, and I was just talking about, you know, there's an abundance of negativity and things that we could be stressed about and things that we could be, you know, overwhelmed about. But just like be intentional about looking for those things that you could be grateful for and those things that are actually, you know, positive and good and great in your life. Just be intentional about finding the good. There's so much, you know, negativity everywhere, but just be intentional about looking for, speaking, and believing for good things. Everybody be blessed, be empowered, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Whoo.
Another one.
I'll find that out. What we listening to?
I have no idea, but it's fire.
Wait, we're not going to be put in Facebook jail, or